So what up, Chief Link?
What's going on?
Yo, I want you to play us some of that new music you got.
Right.
Images of a shooter. Can't understand what the fuck is the fuss. Put that pride aside. Tonight we all can make it out the mud. Shucks, y'all be moving so funny though. Hollow tips to the show. White bitches for the bell. Sadly, that's all y'all lame niggas never know. Who else to blame when y'all motherfuckers ever grow? No, it's not that I don't believe. Every time I believe that prove me wrong, can't you see? With me, I'm pristine as it can be. If I haven't proved that yet, soon enough it's time to see. Corrupted friends above the water. Once the pussy floats around, now you niggas out of order. Saw it coming, no rhyme was needed. Vision clear, I kept it on the hush. Called it before I seen it. They had no patience, didn't have a clue. Or maybe they was just misunderstood. Yeah, they didn't have a clue. Or maybe they was just misunderstood. Yeah.
Fire bars.
Thank you, bro.
What? Break it down for me. What was that about? What was running through your mind when you were writing it? Like, who is that for? Like, what are you talking about?
Alright, so No Names, No Blames was written, all these songs were written probably like about, I think No Names, No Blames was written more recent than the rest, but they were all pretty much written 5, 6, 7 months ago. You know what I mean? So this whole project that I just released is already old to me. Like, I've just been sitting on it. But No Names, No Blames specifically, there was just certain things I needed to let out. All my music is just a reflection of what I'm feeling or the things I see, but this one in particular was like, the first verse was directing to a lot of our peers, or like a lot of like the people that we know in the city, or like artists, other rappers, whoever the hell they are, that are stagnant and don't want to prosper. They want to stay put, and then they want to like talk too much on social media about this and about that, instead of just shutting the hell up and working. You know what I mean? So I said, I'm also I'm acknowledging the fact that, yo, if you put your pride aside, we can actually prosper together for our town. But everybody's competing. But it's like, how does that make any sense? Like, why don't we just represent the same thing and grow together? Like, flowers grow side by side. Do they compete? No, they just blossom. They just bloom. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't get it. So in the first verse, I said, I'm confused with the way y'all maneuver, painting these ridiculous images of a shooter. So basically, I'm watching everybody act like something they either not, or even if you are about that life, why do you want to keep promoting that shit? Especially if you got kids. You know what I mean? Like, prosper, they grow from that. So I said, I'm confused with the way y'all maneuver, painting these ridiculous images of a shooter. Can't understand what the fuck is the fuss. Put that pride aside to unite. We all can make it out the mud. Addressing, let's just grow together. You know what I mean? Like, just stop the bullshit. Put the pride aside. Let's grow together. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like that's not enough, or that it's possible for your community of artists to work together in the future?
I feel like this. I try to seek possibility and the light in certain situations, but everybody's different. Everybody has a different thought process. Everybody, you know, is a different type of person. Like, everybody's cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's always gonna be somebody that hates because you might shine more than them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not everybody's frequencies at the same level. You know, some people have a dark past that hinders over them. Some people face their past and grow from it. You know what I mean? It's just, everybody's different. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, but back to addressing, you know, the lyrical breakdown, I said, y'all be moving so funny though. Hollow tips for the show. white bitches for the blow. Sadly, that's all y'all lame niggas ever know. Who else to blame when y'all motherfuckers ever grow? So what I'm stating is like, I'm addressing, we could prosper together, but y'all move too funny for me. You know what I mean? Hollow tips for the show. You guys want to be all tough with the guns and all this shit. You know, white bitches for the blow. Obviously, there's many breakdowns for that. You know, we can talk about the drug use. You know what I mean? Because some people have an addiction and we get it. Some people suffer from, you know, real shit. But then there's other people that just do it because they think it's fucking cool, and that's just some loser shit, honestly. But and I'm addressing that on a personal level, which I'm not gonna speak about because it's too personal. But hollow tips for the show, white bitches for the blow. Sadly, that's all y'all lame niggas ever know. Who else to blame? Will y'all motherfuckers ever grow? No, it's not that I don't believe. Every time I believe, y'all prove me wrong. Can't you see? So I have faith in people. I do. I have faith. But every time I believe, I get let down. You know what I mean? Then I said, but me, I'm pristine as it can be. If I haven't proved that yet, soon enough you start to see. And a lot of people know how genuine I am, and they hate it. But it's like, dude, just be yourself.
Bro, that's something I've always known you to do, is be yourself no matter what anybody else's opinions of you. You know, growing up, always seen you dancing, you know, then found out you were a phenomenal painter. Now, a couple months ago, you were releasing some poetry that really shook not only me, but the whole show to the core, and really had people thinking. But now you're putting out music, bro, which is on a whole other level. And not only that, but you're putting out great music that the world, that real people can relate to. And I'm loving your message of peace, love, and positivity, you know. So where does that come from? Where does the music come from?
The music? I've always had it in me, and I know it. You know, growing up, you know, in the 90s era, you know what I mean, where hip-hop was like, you know, and then originally coming from New York is like Biggie, Jay, Nas, like that was just it, you know what I mean? I always had the music within, and being a dancer, performing since I was 11 years old, I understood and dissected music on a whole deeper level, you know, to the point where I was able to express it physically. But now, there was a lot of things left unsaid when it came down to performing with dance, you know, there's a lot of things left unsaid, and I felt like I got to the point where I'm like, yo, I really want to try this, but I'm going to keep it to myself. I felt, literally, I was like, I don't want to be labeled as another local rapper. And not to shit on nobody, but I move different. And that's just a fact. I move different. And if anybody feels a way due to that, then it is what it is, you know what I mean? If anybody feels a way about the fact that I'm addressing it, and maybe it's just some insecurity levels. Maybe people should just start like working a little harder. You know what I mean? But honestly, I move different, and I told myself, I said, yo, when I decide to drop music, I'm gonna put 110%. And I was writing music for like 6 or 7 months now, non-stop, literally non-stop. And I dropped my first song, Time Will, June 1st. I already knew, or June 3rd, I believe it was. Because then we had that performance, and I said it in the spoken word. I said June 3rd, Time Will. And I ended just like that. And June 3rd, I dropped Time Will. And a lot of people didn't get that, but whatever. You know, and then I felt like, okay, now I'm releasing a lot of, like, because I didn't want to be labeled. That's why I didn't start sooner. And a lot of people that did start sooner are not doing it right now. You know what I mean? Or had some sort of issue in the process. But at the age I'm at, being a father, being as ambitious as I am, and being an entrepreneur, this is the time. And I've been manifesting that since I was 25. I said for some reason the age 30, when I get to 30, I'm gonna be at the best time of my life, and I'm 28 now. So, and I feel it coming. I feel it coming, rather, you know? And that's that. I just feel like I'm a poet, and I'm gonna highlight that. I'm gonna continue highlighting that. Yes, I'm hip hop, I make music for a lot of purposes, but I am a poet first. I choose rap as an outlet to express certain things.
Express. That was the name of the project you put out. You know, and I've seen you've made a transformation from being Link to being Link X, to being Link the Expressionist. What does that mean to you, and what is it you're trying to tell the world with it?
Link, I'm still Link. Link X is just highlighting the fact, like, basically my main tagline is like, the expressionist is who I be. The expressionist is who I be. That's what the X after Link means, in case y'all didn't know. I said that in the Don't Sleep intro. So I just kind of put that, it's crazy because I've had, this is bugged out to me and I still get tripped out by this, but I had a couple conversations with people, different people, random people, and I got comparisons to Malcolm X, and that shit bugged me out. That legit bugged me out. But I previously had conversations with people and they told me the same thing. And I'm like, so that inspired me though, because then I went and started listening to his speeches and I'm like, holy shit, like that resonated. So I was like, Link X. It just inspired that, you know what I mean? But X is for expressionists. I'm still Link, you know what I mean? But Link X is just highlighting the power in like the expressionist, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying.
So I definitely see where you are truly an expressionist, whether no matter what medium it is, whether it's painting or drawing or writing or performing music or dance, like you're able to express yourself beyond words, beyond, and really relay feelings. I going back to what you were saying when you were like, back when you were dancing, I feel like you felt like there wasn't enough said, and that there were things that were lost in translation. I remember a couple years back at Wepa Art Studio, you did a performance, a dedicated performance that, you know, resonated really heavily with me, that where you were painting and dancing to a track. And at the end of the track, even though I understood where you were coming from, and I'm sure plenty of people who resonate heavily, I feel like, you know, there were things that went over some people's heads. And now I feel like maybe is the time where maybe you can either go back to that, or honestly I've heard it a lot in your music, where, you know, you've spoken on those things that may have gone over people's heads back then, but now it smacks them in the face when lyrically you're there, your metaphors are on point, and people can see because honestly you discuss a lot of your pain and your trials. Can you talk about, you know, how music has helped you release some of that?
Oh yeah, shit. Releasing those feels, you know, those thoughts physically was, I wasn't done. I was done expressing it physically, but there was more. Then the poetic side came, and I was doing my best with dissecting it poetically in spoken words or in slams, and then the music came, and you know, those things I would never stop speaking about. Those things I would never stop speaking about, even if it's like 3 different songs at 3 different time frames of the same person. There's still things that I have to say, even if years have passed. Like, you know, there's gonna be a version of me where I'm a little bit pissed because I'm feeling angry about why it didn't work, so I'm gonna go hard on that one. But then there's gonna be ones where like there was unanswered questions, and I feel more deeply about that. Like, damn, let me address this. In this version, it'll probably be a slow-paced song. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's more to come as far as that goes, because releasing Express is just a brutal entry into rap. I said I'm gonna come in hard. I don't care for, and not that I don't care, but my direction is so out the box when it comes to music that, like, nobody's gonna be able to like catch up in a sense. Whereas like, and I don't mean catch up like artists catching up to me. I mean people catching up to me, like understanding what the fuck I'm doing, because this is like this, but then my next project is not gonna sound anything like that. What people don't understand, and I'm gonna keep on highlighting, is that I'm so ahead of myself, Express was written 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Was done. I sat on it for 2 months, then finalized all the engineering. And when I was happy completely with it, I went, all right, it's time. Then set up the Wolf's Den event and debuted it. That's how it
Which was a massive success.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Honestly, we'll throw some clips of the performances in here for everybody to see, but that was a massive success. I believe you sold out all your tickets, you sold out merchandise, you sold out as hard copies of your project.
Yeah, man,
it was an amazing success.
Super blessed, man. I appreciate everybody that supported, man. It was that feeling on that stage, man. You know, and then like reflecting on the footage, you know, like when people were chanting, that made it real to me. That confirmed, like, okay, this is it. This is it. I know what time it is. Now it's time to take it to the next level.
What is the next level for you? Where do you see yourself doing in the next, you know, without giving too much away, in the next 6 and 12 months as far as music's concerned? You know, I'm sure that we would love to see you put out some actual canvases to go with your art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked on like physical art, like, you know what I mean, like the painting and shit like that in a while, just because I haven't made time for it. Not that I don't have time for it, I haven't made time for it because I'm like, writing a lot, you know what I mean? Writing other stuff too, that I'm not going to mention yet. But as far as painting goes, yes, I'm going to incorporate some. I have to. Eventually. Eventually I'm going to do that. That's something I'm going to do, you know, incorporate my actual art within the music, you know? But yeah, it's just, you know, the next level for me, I feel like it's just a non-stop. I can't stop. You know what I mean? I just can't. I train myself to work so much. If I'm not doing this, I'm working on that. If I'm not working on this, I'm recording. If I'm not recording, I'm planning the next couple projects, directing the next couple projects, or creating the concept of visuals and videos and shit. Like, that's just, I'm so ahead. And I told myself that if I was gonna do this, and that was a vow to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I told myself I'm gonna go all in with this shit, you know, and one way or another, the time is coming. You know what I mean?
So if, in your upcoming projects, if you can collab with anybody in the industry, who would it be?
Damn. Anybody. In the industry, we're not talking locally. We're talking about like,
no, we'll get to locally in a minute,
okay.
You know, because I'm sure there's some locals you would love. But in the industry, you know, give me your, well, you know what, we'll be fair. Give us your top 5 collabs.
My top 5 collabs. All right. Just because of the direction I'm going in, and I'm inspired by a specific, you know, amount of artists. Russ, Logic, top 2. Black. Fuck. These are like, I would say NF, and I'd say Photo. These artists all speak truth. They speak truth, whether they hate it or whatever. They speak all truth. Some on a very deeper level and hurtful level. Sometimes I feel that way. Some are more upbeat, Logic. Some were like, you know, Elemental Power was inspired by Logic completely. Like, I'm snapping on your whackest rappers. That was inspired because I had sold the Rapture. I think my brother was like, dude, you gotta watch the Rapture, Logic's Rapture episode. So they were showing whatever. So a while back, I was at home and I was watching it, and like, I felt how real and humble he is. You know what I mean? I'm like, holy shit. Mind you, watching his my first concert ever was just last year at the Everybody Tour. My mom got me a ticket for Father's Day, and I went, and I was like stunned. And subconsciously, I knew at that moment I need to be there. And then I started following Logic heavily because of my little brother, my youngest brother. He's a diehard fan. He put me on him, and I followed him, and then I saw the Rapture episode, and I'm like, damn, like this dude is so, like, him on the tour bus, when he like realized like where he was, he started balling. He worked so hard, he didn't even realize where he was at that moment. And I was like, yo, this dude is the truth. And I felt that shit, like, you know, it was just very sincere. The next morning, I found that instrumental, and I wrote Elemental Power. And I didn't put it out. I sat on it for months and months and months, and then I was like, you know what, this is gonna be a bonus track on Express. You know what I mean? In the video, then we did a shout out to a couple visuals for that video. So, and that was his first music video, by the way. So
he bodied it.
And shout out to The Conscious too for my 2 other music videos, for Time Wheel, which is my first song that I dropped, and for No Names No Blames, the ones I just dissected.
Great creative directors on both ends. We'll link their stuff right about here.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you know, so, you know, logic like that, you know, Flora is very deep, you know, he highlights depression because it's a real thing. I can resonate with that to a certain extent. Russ is just, all in all, the way he came about, the way he entered the game, where he's at now, he's a big influential artist to me. And all these other artists that I mentioned, man, Black, that dude is just, his album is crazy. And I gotta chill though, because like when I get into my creative space and my writing space, I don't listen to music 24 hours prior. I strategically do that purposely, because people don't understand that you listen to something all day and you go to write, subconsciously you're gonna start writing, and it can change your direction. And I don't want to, I'm avoiding to sound like anybody else. Of course, people are gonna compare me to whoever they think I sound like, because I am inspired by a couple, but I'm trying to be I am working on being the best me I can be. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Is it safe to say that you're also inspired by those artists?
Yeah. Super inspired, man. That's like my top guys right there. You know, when it comes down to this new school of like hip hop blend with R&B, the way it is now, you know what I mean? Because NF's music is like, I mean, you know, when we went to go see Logic, he opened up. He had his real deep stuff, but then he had his aggressive bar for bar stuff. Like, and me, that's why I don't want nobody to categorize me into a certain bracket. You know, a certain bracket of like, oh, you know, he's a hard rapper, a bar for bar rapper, or whatever. No, because guess what? If I want to make a love song, I want to make a fucking love song. So don't put me in a box, because I'll break right through that bitch. My next project is going to sound nothing like Express. And I'm just saying that right now. I'm not saying nothing else about the next project. I'm cooking, that's it.
I know you're a huge Nintendo fan. And you know, you've had the name Link for quite a while, but you've actually changed up the way you express the name Link. Can you give me a little background behind that? So,
the name originally came from, obviously, the Zelda series, you know. When I was dancing, I ran through a couple of different names, you know, my teenage years or whatever, dancing, trying to figure out names and characters that fit with who I am. Then one day, one of my good friends of mine, I think we were playing Super Smash Bros. This is back in like 2009, 2010, so it was like about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, whatever. I was playing Super Smash Brothers, and my boy Laquan, called him Pookie, he was like, yo, he was using Link in the Super Smash Brothers. He was beating everybody up, as far as I remember that far back. And he was like, yo, your name should be Link, yo, because you're small and skinny, but like, people underestimate you on the dance floor. Like, you're very powerful, and that's obviously Link's character. You know what I mean? He goes against the biggest warriors in Hyrule. I sound like a nerd, but whatever. So I was like, holy shit, and it stuck. And I've been Link ever since through the development of my artistry, you know what I mean? And it's who I am now. But, you know, now that I've evolved into the music side, I've created a breakdown, 2 breakdowns to Link. So yes, it's inspired by the character, but Link means loving, eternal, never-ending kingdom. So your never-ending kingdom is your temple, it's you. And loving eternally is self-love. So I just love to manifest and shine self-love and push that. So I am a being of self-love. I respect people the way, you know what I mean, I want to be respected. And I love people the way I want to be loved. And that's what Link stands for. So now if you say your team Link, you're not just representing me as an artist or supporting me as an artist, you're representing yourself. It's a reflection. So we're one. You know what I mean? And then the second breakdown is, that's just me as a whole. But the second breakdown is, for Link, is lyrically inclined, notable knowledge. So it gets deep into the core when it comes down to the name. You know what I mean? I try to really like dissect it, and so there's like some sort of like mystery behind the character. You know what I mean?
Going into, you know, your talk about your growth through self-love, it's something that, you know, we actually have in common. Us having found self-love after going through a lot of hardship and pain, mostly due to our experiences in relationships with our other halves. Mm-hmm. You know, having grown, you know, and gone through such pain, what is your relationship with women like now?
It's harder these days. It's super hard, to be completely honest. I don't know how to have a relationship no more. And it's sad because I literally, there's probably somebody watching this right now that's like, yeah, that's me. Because I've had opportunities I've had opportunities and potentials that played with me, and kind of, and I speak about that in the second verse, No Names, No Blames. I'll get into that in a moment. But then there's, you know, there's other women that are really great women that it was not the time. Right now I'm still dealing with building myself, and for me it's not fair to someone else. I can't give them the time and energy they deserve. Because I'm putting it within myself first, right now, and for my child, you know what I mean, and kids or whatever. So, you know, it's hard when it comes to that, because I want to be loved too. I hope is romantic. That's why I write about it. That's why I speak about it. I've never had true luck when it came down to love. Either in my past, I wasn't done healing from a previous relationship, and it hindered onto my new relationship, and it haunted, and it led me to do foolish things, but I learned from it, and I am a better man today, for whoever the future queen will be, you know. But other than that, right now is just super hard. It's super hard, like, you know, I know where my heart wants to be. I know those things, but in order to execute that right now, it's super hard. It's really hard. Like, I don't know how to stop doing what I'm doing, you know. It's crazy.
So you were saying that you address your relationships with women on the second verse of No Names, No Blames.
Correct.
You know what? How about you play that for us, and then really tell us what you were meaning to say there.
A lot of women funny. Shit starts to add up when you actually listen to their stories. Separated from unhealthy past. These are desperate. Now you gotta pick the pieces from their broken ass. They're fast. There's no time to heal. Already moving on to wonder why a couple months down the line you question how you feel. Crying how you don't know what you want. You wouldn't have the issue if you love yourself from the start. Stop calling my line when it's beneficial. Can't save you all. It's not my job, no sacrifice. My exhaustion is an understatement. A lot of y'all juggle my emotions for some entertainment. It's not so pretty. I'm done with the nonsense, I promise. I'm so cold like the LT. How can it be that my heart can freeze? And it's almost August, yeah. She had no patience, didn't have a clue. Or maybe she was just misunderstood. Yeah, she didn't have a clue. Or maybe she was just misunderstood, yeah.
Wow. And you know what? That speaks to me on so many levels, especially being a single guy trying to date in this modern era of social media and likes and followers and selfies. It seems like things are a lot different than when we were growing up and the values we were originally taught.
Yes, everything is pretty much fucked in this generation. So like, it might be a little harsh. It might be. Because I remember reviewing those lyrics with a couple of people before I put it out and be like, damn, this is just the truth though. It's just the truth. And maybe this is just something that needs to be heard. You know what I mean? So the games can stop, because it's like us men get penalized for anything, but there's no repercussions for women that play this game, and the damaged women at that. You know what I mean? The damaged women. So I said, a lot of women funny. Shit starts to add up when you actually listen to their stories. Separated from unhealthy past leaves them desperate. Now you gotta pick the pieces from their broken ass. Because like, literally, they would break up, have a breakup, and now they find some type of security in someone, like a good man, like you and I, and we want to protect and love them and help them heal, but who ends up being fucked? Us, because they go running right back. You know what I mean? And so like, pick the pieces from your broken ass, like, that fast? Damn, no time to heal? Already moving on? No wonder why a couple months down the line you question how you feel. Crying how you don't know what you want. You wouldn't have that issue if you love yourself from the start. Stop calling my line when it's beneficial. I can't save your war, it's not my job, no sacrificials. I'm done sacrificing my energy and what I've developed within myself to pour it out on these damaged women that are not gonna give me nothing in return. They're gonna run back. What's the sense in that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm no sacrificial. Stop calling my phone when you're dealing with something. Because I'm not gonna be here no more. I'm not a security blanket. I'm not no more at least. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I said, my exhaustment is an understatement. A lot of y'all juggle my emotions for some entertainment. They play too much. It's not to play with. I'm done with the nonsense, I promise. I'm so cold like the LT. LT, you and I know, the tribe knows. The LT is our lieutenant. Shout out to Harry Lyrical, the OG. LT is short for lieutenant, the lieutenant of the Third Eye Tribe. He has a song called So Cold, which is very deep. So I said, I'm so cold like the LT, how can it be that my heart can freeze? And it's almost August. Obviously, I wrote this before August. And then I said, she had no patience, didn't have a clue. Or maybe she was just misunderstood. See, we could have potentially had something in one of the perspectives I'm speaking of. But what happens? There was no patience. Or maybe she was just misunderstood. Maybe she didn't want to be. Maybe she wanted to have me linger around until she was done needing me. And she would just run back to what damage to begin with. And that's no lames, no blames. So pretty much like, if you don't surround yourself with any lames, then there's no one to blame. That's what all this sums up to. Mm-hmm.
You know what, I see a lot of pain, but at the same time a lot of healing, and how your self-love has empowered you to go beyond needing validation in another person. Mm-hmm. You know, because at the end of the day, the saying's very true, hurt people, and I'm glad that you're able to express that and open up the discussion as to, you know, healthy relationships in this modern era, and how self-love is so important to avoid relationships that can be toxic in nature. But moving on to a brighter note, we've gotten to learn so much about you, and you know, and I want to just thank you for sitting and having this conversation with me and being able to share it with the world. Just, you know, what do you have to say to everybody?
Honestly, man, it's just been a journey, especially for people that's been following me since I was a kid. With my brother, with twin, like, performing since we was like kids. When I first moved out here from New York, he was like one of my first friends, and we were performing with the dancing stuff. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, to my brother, the twin. Shout out to everybody. And thank you to the supporters that's always followed me since then, and since, you know, my dancing days, and understand my evolution, because not a lot of people do. You know what I mean? But it's not, my biggest thing is that it's not for everybody. I'm not trying to push this or force this upon anybody. I'm going to attract the people I'm supposed to attract. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Bars. But I just want to thank everybody for supporting all my shows, my performances, my music, my dancing, my paintings, anything that I throw out there and people enjoy it or appreciate it for what it is. I appreciate that, and I thank you guys so much.
Yo, that's a dope hat. Where can I get one, bro?
Oh, yes, my merch. It's Team Link merch. Everything is all on the Team Link. I just sold out. Thank you to everybody who purchased my shirts, not this one, but my shirts, the Elements of Power and the first design, and these hats. I'm definitely going to be releasing more, and they will be up on my website to order real soon.
Awesome, thank you. I'm definitely going to be grabbing one of those.
Appreciate it.
Yo, thanks Chief Link. Thank you for being here. Much love. Can't wait to see what you have next. Yo,
and shout out to Ryan Salas too. That's my apparel guy. He's always got me a clutch. Every time I call him, like, yo, I need to order, get me handed business. So shout out to him too. And if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. There's so many of y'all that I love. So shout out to everybody in my circle, my team, everybody. Love y'all. And thank you.